Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is Sohal and you are watching Arakan Times Daily English News. Today is Wednesday, 18 December 2024. Today's news headlines: Rohingya's properties being confiscated by the Arakan terrorist group the Arakan Army AA in Mongdo. Rohingyas are forced to fight against Rohingyas by the Arakan terrorist group the Arakan Army AA. Rohingya women were raped by the Arakan terrorist group the Arakan Army AA. Belgium joins the genocide case against Myanmar involving the Rohingya. Details of today's news: Rohingya-owned properties such as shrimp farms, paddy fields, poultry farms, shops, and homes are being confiscated by the Arakan terrorist armed group, the Arakan Army AA in Mongdo Township, Arakan State, Myanmar. According to reports, members of the Arakan terrorist group, the Arakan Army AA, have compiled lists of Rohingya properties which are now being confiscated and redistributed to Rakhine residents in Mongdo Township. A resident of Mongdo stated, the farming lands, poultry farms, shrimp farms, and homes are being listed, and the properties will be confiscated and given to the Rakhines by the Rakhine terrorist group, the Arakan Army AA, if the Rohingyas cannot provide evidence of ownership. On December 16, the head commander of the Arakan terrorist group, the Arakan Army AA, appointed for Neme, stated the Rohingyas who do not have documentation proving ownership of their properties will have those properties confiscated and redistributed to Rakhine residents living in Mongdo. Most Rohingyas lost their property documents while fleeing from their original villages. Many of these documents were seized by the Rakhine terrorist group, the Arakan Army AA, while Rohingya sought refuge in areas under their control. Others were destroyed in fires or confiscated during the conflict. As a result, most Rohingya are now at risk of losing their properties due to a lack of documentation. It has been reported that the Arakan terrorist armed group, the Arakan Army AA, has been intimidating and causing Rohingya youths who were forcibly recruited to engage in fighting against other Rohingyas in Butiang and Mongdo Township, Arakan State, Myanmar. On December 16, members of the Arakan terrorist group, the Arakan Army AA, including their appointed village administrators, forced and intimidated Rohingya youths into fighting against the Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army (ARSA) in both Butidong and Mongdo townships. Rohingya youths forcibly recruited by the Arakan terrorist group, the Arakan Army AA, were ordered to engage in combat against Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army (ARSA) fighters in Butidong township. There are many Rohingya youths who were forcibly recruited by the Arakan terrorist group, the Arakan Army AA, in Mongdo, and they have been coercively ordered to fight against ARSA fighters in Butidong. On December 16, they forcibly recruited Rohingya youths who were said to have been prepared and sent to Butidong to fight against the Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army ARSA fighters, a source reported. Ayatullah, the village administrator of Pandabim village, along with his group, has been ordered by the Rakhine terrorist group, the Arakan Army AA, to participate in the fight against Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army ARSA fighters in Butidong Township. It has also been reported that some of the forcibly recruited Rohingya youths were already taken to Butidong on December 16, where they were forced to fight against Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army ARSA fighters. In a video recording, the Rohingya families members from Butidong Township, Arakan State, Myanmar, have recounted unspeakable atrocities committed by the Rakhine terrorist group, the Arakan Army AA. Women and young girls were raped in front of their husbands, sons, and brothers after being forcibly taken to an outpost of the Rakhine terrorist group, the Arakan Army AA. These families displaced 6 months ago when their villages and homes were burned down by the Rakhine terrorist group, the Arakan Army AA, fled to Bangladesh in search of safety. The families endured unimaginable hardship, struggling to feed their children as they lost everything. Desperation led them to cross the Naf River into Bangladesh, but upon reaching Taknaf's shores, they were detained by the Bangladesh Border Guard (BGP) and pushed back to Mongdo Township. Once returned, these families faced further violence. The Arakan terrorist group, the Arakan Army AA, abducted them, leading to further abuse, including the brutal sexual assault of women and girls. The video highlights their ongoing suffering as they remain without aid, food, or protection, struggling to survive amidst repeated violence. This dire situation calls for immediate international attention and humanitarian intervention to address the plight of these displaced Rohingya families and hold perpetrators accountable for the crimes. The International Court of Justice (ICJ) announced on December 16 that Belgium has applied to intervene in the genocide case filed against Myanmar by the Gambia over the treatment of the Rohingya people. Under Article 63 of the ICJ Statute, Belgium submitted its application on December 12, 2024 to participate in the case on the Gambia side. The ICJ also revealed that the Democratic Republic of the Congo applied to intervene in the Rohingya genocide case on December 10, while Slovenia submitted its application on December 4. Previously, Canada, Denmark, France, Germany, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and the Maldives had also applied to intervene in support of the Gambia. The ICJ announced on July 2 that these countries had been granted permission to participate in the case. The Gambia originally filed the case at the ICJ in 2017, accusing Myanmar's atrocities of committing genocide against the Rohingya following widespread violence in Arakan state that forced hundreds of thousands to flee. A UN fact-finding mission also reported in 2017 that the Myanmar military had committed acts of genocide against the Rohingya. However, Myanmar denied the allegation, asserting that no genocide had been committed and that the claims were one-sided and flawed. This defense was led by the State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi in December 2019 at the ICJ in The Hague, Netherlands. In 2022, the ICJ dismissed Myanmar's objection and decided to proceed with the case. Thanks for watching Arakan Times Daily English News.